Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel, we love our makeup. And we especially enjoy using the makeup that we already own, but we're not necessarily here for Instagram fame or TikTok fortune, though I do those things as well. We're just here for real makeup for our real lives and real people just like us. Today's video was definitely inspired by a couple of my favorite YouTubers, including my girl Angela over at BeautyandLifewithAngela and Sarah Rose here on YouTube. I'll have them linked below as well as some of their videos similar to this, but I wanted to swatch my favorite pink eyeshadows, and I just kind of want to go through my collection shade by shade and maybe not so broad of a category in the future. Today I'm doing pink, but I could see doing like my favorite peach eyeshadows or coral or what have you. So if you have any requests, leave them down below because I would like to do this on a semi-regular basis. It helps me to go through and get excited about my collection again, as well as, to make better use of different color categories. So that's what we're doing today. So the very first best pink that I have in my collection is from Sydney Grace. It is a single called Blondie, and to me this is just hands down the best rose gold eyeshadow in my collection. It is a beautiful lid shade, but it also works really well if you just put it all over the lid and then lightly buff it up into the crease for a one shadow look. I just absolutely love this. Pay no attention to this swatch. This is a lip liner that won't go away. Stay tuned. I have a dupe for you guys, but look how shiny and gorgeous that is. And I just love Sydney Grace eyeshadows all together, and that is one of my favorites. The next pink comes from one of my favorite drugstore palettes currently, and it is the Flower Beauty Desert Lights palette. The shade I'm talking about is this one called Sahara right here. It's a duochrome, and it's pretty much like NARS or Orgasm on steroids. It is very reflective, but just absolutely stunning. I cannot wait to wear this all over my eyeballs this summer with just like a beautiful tan and like a sunburny blush. I'm here for it. Gonna have to dig out the NARS Orgasm and top another blush. It's so pretty. It really does have a beautiful reflection. This whole palette is very, shiny like this, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's got that pinky coral base with sort of a coppery golden shift. Next is a matte shade, but it's actually a cream shadow that comes from my Natasha Denona retro palette. It's this shade up here called Vivian, and for me this is just the perfect transition shade for either a warm or a cool pink look. It just does beautiful things. I also really love this one as a one shadow look. I love one shadow looks, especially when I'm not filming. I just like to keep things simple, fresh, elegant, but it's beautiful. It is her cream to powder formula, but it is matte, like there's no shimmer or anything like that to it. And it's definitely one of my most used shades in this palette. And there's some other beautiful pinks in this palette, but a lot of them I feel like lean towards more mauve or even like purple. So that's why I didn't include them today, but stay tuned. Next, one of my all-time favorite palettes in my collection, and it is a quint. It is the Natasha Denona Mini Retro, and the shade I'm talking about is this first one in the palette. It's called Galaxia. This is her Chroma Crystal formula, and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's sort of got a pinky beigey base, but then the glitters are like green and aqua and pink, and it's just insane. It looks absolutely insane on the eyelid. I don't know that we're gonna have it, you know, do justice in this swatch, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It is a huge dent in mine. I can't use this palette and not use that shade in some capacity. So I definitely tippy top favorite for me. Next, again with Sydney Grace, but this time a palette, and it is my Enduring Love palette. I do have the light version. They do offer a deep version as well. And my favorite pink in this palette is this one right here. This is the shade Romeo, and it's just the perfect soft, cool toned satin pink. It's a beautiful inner corner or lid shade. It's just beautiful. It's icy, it's smooth, it highlights that inner corner and just brightens it beautifully because of that pink tinge to it, but it's not so pink that you couldn't pair it with other colors as an inner corner highlight. It's absolutely amazing, but again, neutral crease. Throw this on the lid, beautiful. It would be beautiful bridal, it'd be beautiful for work, every day, going to your grandma's house. I love this pink. All right, next, she's new, but she's fabulous, and it was an instant love for me. And I have two in this palette. It is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2, the Rose palette. The first shade is this one right here, which is called Lust. It is a cream shadow, and I am obsessed with it. Again, I just think this would make such a pretty one shadow look, layered on the lid, buffed out in the crease, or even just a sheer wash of it over the lid. And once these set, they are absolutely budge proof, these cream shadows from Patrick Ta. So I really, really love that. It's a beautiful base for this palette, but then there's more. There's this beautiful shade right here, which is called Loyal, and it is basically, oh no, I swapped them around. The cream is Loyal. This is Lust. I'm sorry, so sorry. This is newer to me. This shade right here, Lust, is like the pink version of Fire. I mean, just look at that. It has beautiful sparkle, beautiful shine, but it also has a little bit of a sheerness to it that makes it beautiful for laying, it makes it beautiful for laying over any of the mattes in this palette or the other shimmers, but I just can't get enough of this shade. I think it's definitely one of the shades that most people were gravitating towards. If you see, if I lean it back, it kind of turns orangey and then more pinky. It's stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I love this palette. I love his formulas, and who wouldn't want that all over their eyeballs for summer, I ask you, or anytime, of course. Next, let's talk about the pink on my eyeballs today, and it comes from one of my favorites. This is the ABH Norvina Collection Volume 1. I do have all four of the, I have the first 4 volumes. I don't think I'll buy any more of them, but this is my favorite out of the ones that I have. And I'm talking about this shade right here, which is B3, under the B3. Always have to make bingo jokes with these palettes. But this is just like the perfect shimmery version of a Barbie pink. And it's just so fun. I just think this is so beautiful. It's shiny, and like I said, it's just that perfect Barbie pink. Sometimes we want to be Barbie, don't we? I don't know, maybe not, but it's a beautiful pink just the same. The next shade comes from my BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. RIP BH Cosmetics. It's so sad. This is Smitten in Switzerland, and the shade I'm talking about is this one right here called Zurich. This is like a dusty rose shimmer with cool tone glitters, shimmers, particles. It's just beautiful. I find it to be such a sophisticated shade. just being that dusty rose tone, which I love. I think this is beautiful. It's an all occasion shadow in my opinion. Again, a beautiful one shadow look, but you could also pull in, you know, these berry dusty rose mattes that are in the palette. I just think a shade like this is so great to have in your back pocket. It's one of those that's going to go with a lot of looks or ensembles or fits, as they call it over in the TikTok. But I love this shade. It's buttery, it's creamy, it doesn't accentuate textures on the eyelids, and it's beautiful. I want BH to come back. Anybody else? I'm kind of sad about it. Next is a palette that I specifically reach into for this pink and just in general for pastel lid shades, and that's the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. And the shade I'm specifically talking about is the lighter pink up here called Osun, I believe is what it is. And to me, this is just like hands down the best peachy pink lid shade. I mean, it's like peach and pink. It's like a peach with a very icy pink reflect to it, and it's just so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. If you do have trouble with thicker eyeshadow formulas like Juvia's Place, like Natasha Denona, I recommend using a pinched fluffy brush like this to apply the shimmers. It kind of applies them in a more thin manner, and I don't know, I think it just works better, and especially if you have textured or mature eyelids. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous pinky peach. It reigns supreme in my collection. And lastly, the Natasha Denona Pastel palette. I definitely immediately fell in love with this shade called Dainty up here. It's a beautiful duochrome pink with little bits of aqua glitter. It's really beautiful. I think there's even like hints of some kind of a warm tone shift in there. It's just beautiful on the eyes. It's elegant but fun and fresh. I think it would be beautiful with like a neutral eye and just do this as like an inner corner highlight or something. It's a really, really beautiful shade. I love this palette. And as an honorable mention, the shade Tool, which is one of her cream to powder shadows, is like your perfect bubblegum pink. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and pop up a little clip of all of the shades swatched together so you can see my beautiful roundup of my absolute best pink eyeshadows. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know again down below, what would you like to see next? Aqua, peach, yellow, what are you interested in? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate your time as always. If you did enjoy today's video, I hope you will give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out, lets me know what content you guys want to see. And subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss out on future swatch parties like this, as well as the rest of my content. And I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days. Pink makeup days, maybe. And I will see you in my next video very soon.